Hello, my love light lifers. Natty T here, your vibrational coach. Today we're talking about the vibrations of 5555. If you want to know what it means and why it might mean that, if it can help you in your manifestational journey, we're going to find out. Okay, so if you're joining us for the first time, I want to say welcome. Mwah. Thank you for turning up. And of course, to all of my subscribers and followers, hello. So happy to have you here. We are talking about 5555. So this is a quadruple number. Yeah. And it is the number 5. Very significant. 5. Not only is it halfway between 0 and 10, it's a number that has a rounded effect on the human psyche. Why? Because, hey, there's 5 here, there's 5 here. Yeah? We tend to look at the number 5 in a very symbolic way. And it's really easy to tell why when we start seeing 5s, we might be interested as to know why they're turning up so much. So what we're going to talk about today is why the number 5 and 5555 might mean what it does and what it means to your manifestational journey. Where are you in that point? Because if we're going along in a sequential order from 0 to 9, just talking about single numbers that may repeat, we're talking about the halfway point between 1 and 10, really. But 0 and 9, we see the halfway point as being 5 anyway, even though it's not. It's actually 4, but that doesn't matter. We see it as being a halfway point. In other words, it's a 180 degrees. What this denotes to the human psyche and keeps showing up every time that we see it as a symbolic number rather than a quantifying number is that this is change. We head over to Joanna Secret Scribes again today to talk about the angel number 5555 and find out what the number 5 usually tells us about where we are in our manifestational journey. So some of the things you might be looking at if you're seeing 5s and you're vibrationally matching with that number is things like making decisions, life choices, personal freedom, individuality, cleverness, intelligence, adaptability, versatility, life lessons learned through experience, resourcefulness, opportunity, expansion, spontaneity, life changes, new opportunities, adventure, curiosity, challenges, idealism, action, activity. All of these things, you can kind of see it, can't you? All of these things are the kind of things that lead up to or result in change or are change. So when we're seeing 5, we're actually looking at our journey as at a halfway point, which means that this is the point where we reassess everything. This is the point where once we got to that 4 and we got a bit of stability happening, we got an outcome of some sort, chances are we didn't get it right the first time. And we as humans instinctively know that it's never going to be right the first time. In fact, we're always going to keep changing our minds, the truth is. But we live under the delusion that we're going to get it right one day. Sorry to burst anyone's bubble there, but we do. We like to think that there's an end point, that there's a point where there'll be a reward. But there are these little touchstones along the way that tell us that we've gotten somewhere that we want to be. And this is one of those points in the manifestational journey where we get to reassess. So changes might happen spontaneously. In other words, they might happen because of outside influences, or they might happen because you initiate them, or they might happen because of internal incidences. So the first being a change might happen because you move house. You need to move house. Something happens to force you to move house, and you now are living in a different place. Then you've got the internal sort of shifts that will happen, and those internal shifts are things that the ones that you initiate might be something like you might decide that you're going to change up your routine, or that there's something that you want to bring into your life. I'm going to start eating better, or I'm going to start practicing yoga, or I'm going to do this or do that. I'm going to switch jobs. So these are self-perpetuating. So you've chosen to do those things. And then, of course, you've got the kind of changes that happen because of shifts within you. So you saw something, it affected you and changed the way that you look at the world. And so fives denote that one of these three things are going to happen. And when we look at things like adaptability, versatility, opportunity, expansion, spontaneity, life changes, adventure, curiosity, all of these things happen in that space, which is why when we see that midway point and we call it, we pretty much are looking at it as if it was a cycle. If we're going to go around, that would be the 180 point, or this would be the halfway point up the ladder. This is the point where you've got to stop and you've got to check and you've got to make sure that you're still on track. And the thing is, if you don't stop and check and make sure that you're on track, chances are that something will happen to shift you on track. And if you don't sort of go with that flow, you'll find that it can actually be when I see fives, I really pay attention, because fives are actually one of my unfavorite numbers to see, just because I happen to know that when I start seeing fives, it usually means that if I haven't specifically made a shift, in other words, if I don't know of a change that's about to happen, chances are when I start seeing fives, the universe has made a shift for me and I'm about to find out about it. And it's usually something that, even though in the long run it's going to be something good for you or for me, that it's uncomfortable because I didn't choose it consciously. And so it's coming as a surprise, and it seems like it's coming out of nowhere, but there were definitely the signs. So that's why fives mean the things that they do, because the human psyche likes to see the number 5 as a nice round midpoint. And midpoints to us as a human species is the point where it's intermission. It's that halfway point. It's the point where you stop and you recalibrate what you're doing. And so that's what fives are for us. And that's why they might show up when they do. And that's why they might mean what they do to us as a collective, and why we might match with them, which means on a manifestational journey, we're watching for those fives. So I hope you have enjoyed today's videos. I hope you got something out of it. If you did, click the like button, follow, subscribe, and of course, if you've got experiences with the number 5, and let us know. Let us know. We'd love to hear it in the comments. I will see you tomorrow.